The amount of times I've been ghosted by girls is actually kind of embarrassing. Like, I am a girl's girl through and through, and I have been looking for a best friend for like the past 5 years. So I said this year that I was going to put more effort in. I met girls at Pilates. I met girls while I was shopping. I even met girls that like were connected through me, like for someone who knew them and like kind of linked up. All of them ghosted me. I hadn't even developed a relationship with those girls for there to be any reason that they would be like, yeah, okay. Some of them I only hung out with one. Some of them I didn't even hang out with at all. Some of them, they're the ones who invited me to hang out. And then I text them following up saying, hey, what's up? Let's hang out. Dead silent, no response, nothing. I can't lie. At first, I was like, okay, there's something in the water. There's something going on. There's something wrong with me. Apparently, no one wants to be my friend. But then I started to think a little bit more about it. The reality is, I think once you pass like 21, most people are focused on their own lives. Most people are focused on school, job, engagement, wedding, whatever. And making friends, making best friends is definitely not a priority anymore. Most of the time when people ghost you is because they have something going on in their lives that they can't handle, and they can't handle you as well right now. So it's like, think of it kind of like as a good thing, because if you're gonna ghost me as a friend, we probably weren't meant to be friends at all. So it's fine.
Why is it so hard to make friends as an adult? I hate to break it to you. You probably already know this, but this has been going on for most of you, as it has been for me since middle school. And that's because of our self-awareness. When we're little, when we're toddlers and preschoolers, and we're first and second and third grade, we don't have that self-awareness. We're just freed up. We're playing with other kids. There's not all that weird head gamey judginess that develops in the latency age years, like 10, 11, 12, the tween years. That's when you start to feel the judgment of others and people talking behind your back, and you don't understand what's going on. There's such difficult years for so many people, those middle school years. But I gotta tell you, and I know you all know this, it continues through high school, college, the early career years. And I find that many women, many of my clients talking about it getting worse in their early years of being a mommy with other moms in the school and in the community. So if you want to make friends, you gotta make an effort. You gotta get out of the house. You gotta go to the volunteer organizations. You gotta get involved with the moms at school, at church, in a Pilates class. Start chatting somebody up. Start making an effort to talk to people wherever you are. And if you can't find people there, go to a local Facebook group and say, hey, does anybody know of a book club that I can join? Is there a knitting circle that I can join? There is something out there for you. You got to make an effort. And whenever that inner critic comes in and starts to tell you something about, you're not this, you're not that, you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, you're not savvy enough, I want you to tell that inner critic to zip it. You don't belong here, okay? So you got to keep making an effort. You're not alone in this. And as far as making friends, did any of you follow up on my challenge from last week? Did you text somebody for coffee? Let me know in the comments if you did and when you're meeting that person for coffee. Maybe you already did. I want to hear about it.
The reason that you're finding it so hard to create friendships in adulthood isn't because you're an introvert, isn't because people are shitty. Well, sometimes. It's because you don't know how to. Let's talk making friends, real friends. And no, I'm not going to give you this Bumble BFF, just put yourself out there kind of advice. Practical baby girl advice. First of all, if the rate at which you're making friends has slowed down with age, totally normal. We're not just here collecting crowd for the sake of it. Acquaintances, crowd, real friends, few, micro, small. Making friends in adulthood should be a passive action. I found that when I forced it, fun story, I literally met one of my closest friends, literally in the last few years, through our essay at a jewelry store. It's that whole thing of when you're enjoying your life and just being you and moving and vibrating in the spaces that you love and that you belong in, you just naturally attract your vibe. Like, babe, I wasn't looking for a friendship. I was just looking for a fucking just include. But then the friendship was added on top. Definitely one thing that has become apparent with friendships in adulthood, maybe it's the industry that I'm in, clouty friendships. But even beyond the influencing world, I feel like it's something that is very much far-reaching and is in line with our modern day obsession with being seen, being heard. Everyone thinks that they're a celebrity. Everybody wants to be a celebrity. If it's an acquaintance thing, do you boo-boo? Don't hate the player, hate the game, right? But if you're actively trying to seek genuine friendships, please beware of such people, aka the clout chasers. And why is no one talking about needing the spirit of discernment? If the third eye is not open, you're exposing yourself to the wolves. But spotting a crazy, some of the warning signs Friends that give insults wrapped in a souffle of compliments. Very subtle, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. Another one, friends that struggle to be happy for you, that are constantly criticizing you, that are very happy for you to expend your time on them, but when it's the other way round and you need help, by no means is this an exhaustive list. But also, don't forget your old friendship. There's a couple caveats with this. Depending at the rate at which you're accelerating, your old friends might not actually make sense. OG friends, like a baby girl, ground zero friends, can only really carry through in your life depending on the person. So specifically, if that old friend is secure in themselves and is secure in their life and what they've achieved. If not, just keep it moving. Long story short, if you struggle with making friends in adulthood, we all do. Well, not all of us, but I do. So hopefully that makes you.
Hi friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, we'll be talking about something interesting. A lot of us are fraud but don't talk about it real enough. Why is it so hard to make friends as an adult? For many of us, making friends seem effortless as kids or teens, but now, whether it's due to work, life commitments, or just feeling out of the way, making new connection, it can feel like a battle. If you've ever wondered why it's such a challenge, or you're just feeling a little isolated, stick around. You're definitely not alone, okay? So fewer built-in opportunities, one major reason, okay? So the reason is hard. An adult, we don't have the same built-in environment for meeting new people like we did in school or college. Back then, we were thrown into situations where we are around people our age every day, sharing classes, sports, or clubs. But now, unless you work somewhere with a big team or participate in regular activities, you're not automatically interacting with people. Okay. Also, as an adult, we might feel like everyone else already has their friend circle established, so we hesitate to reach out. Those natural spaces for forming friendships are harder to come by, especially outside of work. And let's face it, not everyone wants their co-worker to be their best friends. Another thing is busy schedules and priorities. The reality is most adults are juggling of responsibility, career, relationship, family, and sometimes even caring for their own parents. With these obligations, finding time for meaningful social interactions can be tough. By the time the weekend rolls around, many people just want to relax and recharge, not to put energy into socializing or getting to know new people. On top of that, our priorities shift. Friendship might feel like that less essential compared to paying bills, working towards career goals, or maintaining a family. And as friendships are not always seen as necessity, they can fall low on the list. Another thing is fear of rejection. Another factor is that the older we get, the more we might feel vulnerable to rejection. Reaching out to people as an adult can feel like asking them on a date with all the same awkwardness and risk of feeling rejected. Okay, so if you invite someone to grab coffee or hang out and they are too busy or not interested, it can feel disheartening. So we might avoid putting ourselves out there altogether. There's also the misconception that making new friends means something is wrong with your current social life. In reality, it's perfectly normal to want new connection that fit who you are now. But that fear of judgment or rejection can hold us back. Another thing is harder to find like-minded people as an adult. We have all developed unique individual personalities, preferences, and interests, making it hard to find people who genuinely click with. When we were young, friendships often revolve around convenience and shared experiences, but as an adult, we are more selective about who we want to spend time with. We want friendships that add value to our lives where we can be our authentic selves. Unfortunately, finding people who align with our personalities and values can be challenging. The people you meet at work, for example, might not necessarily be the type of people you would naturally gravitate toward outside the office. Another thing is changing dynamics with old friends, even if you had strong friendship for years. Life changes can be impactful those relationships. People move for jobs, get married, have kids, or just go through different life phases, which can sometimes make it hard to maintain close friendships. You might find that friends who used to be available all the time now have different priorities and takes more effort to stay connected. This can be particularly tough if you close friends are all entering different life stages, making you feel like you're alone in your current stage. So you might want new friends who are in the same phase as you, but finding them is not easy. In the world where social media constantly showcases other people's friendships and outings, it's easy to feel like everyone else has active social life. We see photos and posts of people hanging out together, making memories, and can make our life feel emptier in comparison. But remember, social media is a highlight reel and often doesn't show the reality that many people feel isolated too. It can create a false sense of connection that ironically leads to even more loneliness. So, where does this leave us? If making friends as an adult is something you're struggling with, know that it's completely normal, but don't lose hope. Consider joining clubs or groups that align with your interests. Reaching out to people who have not spoken to in a while, or even being open about your desire to make new friends. Building meaningful friendships takes effort, but with time and patience, it's possible to find those connections that add joy and to your life. Okay, so have you ever heard like rejection when you're looking for friends? Because you're looking for friends when you're an adult, it's really a crazy thing. And sometimes you may think that you found a friend, but you don't know what that person thinks about you, because we've been in friendships where we were treated bad. As someone, they went to your boyfriend to report for stuff, and they ended up relationships. We become friends who are just jealous about your success. You share the success with them, they feel jealous about you. We've made friends who made us cry every time, and some people are not just good friends. So sometimes it's better to be alone. It's not like every time you need to be with friends around. Alone is better. Okay. So yeah, that's a video for today. So I want you to comment in the comment section how hard it has been to find friends as an adult. So let's get into